Alright. Spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom ahead. You've been warned. Spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom ahead. Now, I bet looking at the trailers and looking at all of the pre-release footage that Nintendo's released on this game, you're probably wondering, how do arrow fusions work exactly? What are all of the arrow fusions, and what do they do? Now, to quickly get into this, we're going to have to talk about the main types of arrow fusions. The first one, you have the normal base arrow fusions that you only get a certain stat buff for. For example, a mushroom. If you put a mushroom on an arrow, it's only going to do a certain little damage buff on the arrow that you shoot. You know, it's worth going for, it's worth using, but it's only like, you know, you put it on and it does a little bit more damage than it normally would. Then there's the elemental types of arrows, which are water arrows, fire arrows, and electricity arrows, as well as bomb arrows and ancient arrows. Now, ancient arrows are a little tricky. We're gonna have to get into that, but so from my testing, it seems as if like items like flowers and pieces of meat. Yes, I know what you're thinking. What does the meat arrow do? I'm gonna tell you right now what the meat arrow does. It makes the arrow do more damage. That's it. That's all it does. It makes the arrow do a little bit more damage. Now, pieces of meat, fruits, vegetables that you'll find in the overworld, if you put them on your arrow, it'll make the arrow do a little bit more damage. So, how do you get the different types of fusions in this game? What'll really do more damage, though, and what is one of the main mechanics of this game, is enemy drops. Now, what do I mean about enemy drops? I'm talking, like, horns, alright? So, in the trailer, you know how all of these enemies had these horns. See, when you kill the enemies, those horns then drop on the ground, and you're able to fuse them with either your sword, or spear, or two-handed club, and get a massive attack boost, where you then create some of the best items in the game. Or you can, you know, get some of the lower-powered enemies and horns, like a Lizalfos, attach it to your arrow, and shoot that bitch. Now, some are easier to come by, and I think are worth putting on your arrow to shoot it one time, because if you put a horn on your arrow, like a Zonai horn, or every enemy has one, so there are Zonai horns, there are Lizalfos horns, Moblin horns, Lionel horns, you know, there's basic overworld enemies that I think will be fine if you put the horn on your arrow. But you see, the thing with the arrow is you can only use an arrow once. You can only use an arrow once with whatever's attached to it, and that thing is gone afterwards. So if you're thinking about it like that, in terms of how much use am I going to get out of this, I think it's much better to just use the horn, or horns in plural, to fuse with sticks on the ground. So you get a weapon that you're able to use more than once, let's say. Use more than one attack. So now that we're past normal basic arrows, we'll get into the elemental arrows. Now, There may be other items that I haven't come across yet that serve the same effect as this, but Choo Choo Jelly. Choo Choo Jelly is one of the main ones that give you this effect. So blue Choo Choo Jelly gives you water on your arrows. It gives you like a water blast, which is used to some effect in the Zora's Domain, but I will leave that for another video. But the thing is with the Choo Choo Jellies is the red Choo Choo Jellies, they give you fire on your arrows. So when you charge it up, it'll be a fire arrow. And when you get the yellow Choo Choo Jelly, it'll be an electric arrow. So each type of Choo Choo Jelly serves its own purpose. There are many different items with this same effect, such as the new fire fruit that you can find over the overworld. And there's many different ways to achieve the same effect. But with the elemental arrows, you'll have to keep in mind that they're only as good as normal arrows with a damage boost in terms of what actual kind of damage output they do. It's just it has that elemental factor on top of it. Alright, so bomb arrows. Bomb arrows are integral to the game because you don't have the bomb rune anymore from the Sheikah Slate. What you want to do is you want to find these bomb fruits all over the map. Yeah, they're back, by the way. If you've played other Zelda games, you know what a bomb fruit is. Bomb fruits, you'll attach them to your arrow, and then you'll shoot it, and it'll be like a bomb arrow. What you want to keep in mind, though, is bomb arrows, and by proxy, bomb flowers are only found in caves. Ancient arrow. Now, I'm not sure exactly where you find this in the game, but what I do know is the Guardian amiibo gives you this piece of equipment. It's called a Ancient Blade. Now, what this Ancient Blade does is you get it either through gameplay, and I'm sure it's very rare, or you get it from the Guardian amiibo, you attach it to your arrow, and guess what? The arrow, it's a one-shot. But listen, the thing about the ancient arrows is, when you kill an enemy with it, nothing drops. And in this game, that is important. I mean, it's really fucking important. Because you want to get as many horns as you possibly can in this game. And if you're shooting ancient arrows, then you're not gonna get any. You're not gonna get any horns, you're not gonna get any weapon fusion equipment, and you're probably not going to have a very good time. So I'd stay away from the ancient arrows, unless you're using it to, like, you know, cheese a boss fight or something, or a mini boss. That's fine, like a Lionel, but I don't see myself using this particular type of arrow in my own playthrough, which is something to keep in mind. So, all across the map, there are these Dazzle fruit. Now, when you put a Dazzle fruit on top of your arrow, you will get a arrow that you're able to shoot at enemies, and it'll stun them. They'll be stunned, and they'll be like little, like, you know, sparks everywhere, and they'll get all dizzy. It'll incapacitate them for like a couple seconds. So keep in mind, that's what a dazzling fruit does. So in this game, you're going to see these flying dragons from the trailer, right? And these flying dragons, you're going to want to take down with an arrow, obviously. But when you kill them, they're going to drop eyeballs on the ground. Now, what do these eyeballs do? These eyeballs, that's what your homing arrow is going to be. Homing arrow, I'm sure it does a little bit more damage than the other ones. So you want to shoot the eyeball on the arrow, or you want to attach it, and then you want to shoot it, and it'll home. It'll home in on the head. Alright. So, when you're playing the game, you're probably wondering, how exactly do I know what arrow gives me more damage and what arrow fusion doesn't? So, when you go into the start menu and you look at your equipment, you're gonna see one of two things. You're gonna see the description of the item that you're looking at, and right above it, you're going to see the fuse attack power. Looking here, for example, you're going to see this iron shroom. If you fuse it with an arrow, it'll give you a +1 fuse attack power. Whereas the bokoblin horn, you don't find that on the ground. You get that from defeating enemies, right? That's 4 times as much as the iron shroom. Alright, so that's everything to know about arrows in Tears of the Kingdom. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, give a like, obviously. I mean, why wouldn't you give a like if you like the video? That makes no sense. But, yeah, make sure to sub, and I'll see you later.